different view, and when I understand something, that you will listen the first message you never heard today before. In Adventism, we never teach this way. Well, I can speak because the Word of God is supporting those ideas, and Word of God is really speaking that way. The three angels message starts like this. Can you read it?
Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people.
Yes. In this verse, we can understand this message is not for just one religion, or one Adventist, or one nation. It says clearly to those dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. So this is the global message. Do you understand? The three angels message is what? Global message. Global message. Yes. It's all the words in our generation. These three angels message must be given. And dwell on the earth, as you know, we can find another expression, same expression in Lucas chapter 21, verse 35. Can you read this alone?
For it will come upon all those who live on the face of all the earth.
Yes. When it says, for it will come, what is it? The day. What day is that? Yes. This, when the last days started, this event will be happen upon those who live on the face of all the earth. Three angels message also message to all those who live on the face of the earth. The everlasting message, the last message will be three angels message. So we must understand what is the three angels message. Well, when in Lucas chapter 21, verse 35, it says about when the last days begun. All the events in the chapter 21 in Lucas will be happen not only for portionally, but it will be happen to all over the world. Do you understand? So when it comes to all over the world, we understand the message about all over the world. So when it comes to all over the world, the message should be also for the all over the world. Do you understand? Okay. You will understand little by little. Okay. For three angels message in Adventism, was this message given before? Well, I think you are not really long time Adventist. Yes, actually we say that during 1844 it was given to all over the world. So three angels message is not really new message, but it was given when 1844. 1844, what was happened? The people waited for second coming of Jesus. And we call that the William Miller's Adventism. The William Miller studied the Bible, and he found out that when he heard the words that after 2,300 days, the word will be cleansed. So he was understanding cleansed that word as the Jesus coming. So actually, in that time, many people waited for the second coming of Jesus Christ. Well, William Miller was an American Baptist preacher. He's what? Baptist preacher. He's not Adventist preacher. Why? Because Adventism, Adventist church was founded in 1863, not in his time. I mean, he is speaking from 1840s. So 40s, no Adventist yet. He was a Baptist preacher who lived in the early 20th century. He became famous for his teaching about the second coming of Jesus Christ which he believed would occur on October 22, 1844. So, this is another explanation about William Miller. Prediction was actually based on his interpretation of the prophecy in the book of Daniel that speaks of 2,300 evening and morning, which he understood the mean 2,300 years. Miller believed that the 2,300 years period began in 457 BC when Artaxerxes I of Persia issued a decree allowing the rebuilding of Jerusalem. We can find that incident from the Bible, and according to his calculation, the 2,300 years period would end in 1844. And he believed that this was the year that Jesus Christ would return to earth. So he was thinking, really believed that 1844, the Jesus will come. Well, you must understand the Adventism and how we started. Well, in 1755, there was Lisbon earthquake, which was a very, very great earthquake. So when we remember about Lisbon earthquake, it say about great earthquake. And few years later, in 1780, May 19, the sun get darker, moon get red, and stars are falling. So what the people will do? People are thinking, people accepted those events as a signs of the last days. So people are thinking from that time, this event is coming, this event. So all the events come out, which is spoken in the Matthew 24. I'm sure they didn't really properly study, but it was a lightly studied, then they can understand that way. So, William Miller started to preach in 1840s. Early 1840s, he started to preach. So everybody are calling William Miller to listen. Again, in this time, William Miller is Adventist or not? He was not. He was a Baptist church member. Okay? So, William Miller is keep on preaching, and people, it's not only his denomination like a Baptist church, but even Methodist church, even other churches, many churches, they're calling William Miller. So his idea was not only bound in the US, but it was claimed to the European country too. So European country also listen his story that Jesus will come. And that is the time, actually, three angels' message was given. Why three angels' message was given in the time? Because three angels' message should be claimed just before Jesus come. Do you understand? So they believe that Jesus will come 1844. So before 1844, three angels' message was claimed and shouted by the believer of Jesus. But did Jesus come 1844 or not? Not. So they had a great disappointment. So even you look it in the internet, even in Google, you do it about great disappointment, then they really describe about 1844, which is October 22, because it was worldwide great disappointment, not only in the US. So what they did, other people, they start to, the people who say that still, I believe the Bible, they again started to study the Bible. They are studying the Bible, and many other churches they are gathering together, and they try to show the truth. And from Methodist Church, the truth come. From the Baptist Church, the truth come. Sabbatist Church, the truth come. So all the truth, we only compare with the Bible alone, and we made a Seventh-day Adventist Church 1863. So Seventh-day Adventist, we never predict the day that when Jesus will come. So this William Miller's Adventism movement never done by Adventist. Why? Adventist was not even that time exist. So what kind of church was gathered? Yes, main church was 4 church. Actually, there are more than 10 kind of denomination. But among them, like Baptist, Methodist, Congregationalist, and Presbyterians. Presbyterians also, this is a very influential the church. They are the people who say that Jesus will come 1844. Do you understand? Not us. And when they are so disappointed, and they study the Bible, and among them, the true people who really trust the Bible, they come out and they form the Seventh-day Adventist Church in 1863. Actually, they missed one Bible verse. What verse is that? Yes. But of that day and hour, no one knows. Not even the angel of heaven, but my Father only. So actually, God told us already that no one knows the day when Jesus will come. But actually, the sign was so clear for them, and they understood that way, and they accepted it as a Jesus coming really. So they really expect the 1844 October 10th. Well, I want to discuss about who is the founder of the Adventist. William Miller, he came from the Baptist church. He didn't give up to study the Bible. Why? Because for him, his understood was very correct. Only the Jesus, his service was changed 1844, October 22. And as you know, we know Ellen G. White. Before she was a Methodist. And the James White, the husband of the Ellen G. White, and he also not an Adventist. And we have Joseph Page. Joseph Page, he was a sea captain. He was just a captain. But while he is reading the message from the William Miller, he was so convinced. So Joseph Page actually sold everything for Jesus coming. Actually, most of them, they sold everything and they really believe that Jesus is coming. And there's 2 more people, which is J.N. Andrews. You know, among the Adventist church, we have Andrews University, right? I think the Andrews University is follow the name of the J.N. Andrews. He was a former Methodist minister. But while he is studying the Bible again, he found out that the 7th day, the Sabbath is true. So he became one of the Adventists. And Uriah Smith, he was a former Methodist too. The Uriah Smith became one of the pastors in Adventism, and he write the book, many books. Okay, let's go to what is a 3 angels message. The first angel's message starts like this. Can you read it together?
Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. And worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea and springs of water.
Yes. When you focus, what is the message about this? What is the focus? The hour of his judgment has come. In other words, the Jesus will come soon. And worship who made heaven and earth, the sea, and the spring of water. This is the first angel's message. What is the first angel's message? You must remember at least this. Judgment time has come. Okay? Okay. Second angel's message. Can you read it?
And another angel followed, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Yes. The reason because she let drink the people the drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. This is the all wrong theory of the church. She let what is her? Who is a Babylon? Catholic. Catholic is a Babylon. So second angel's message is what? Babylon is fallen and fallen. And come out from the Babylon. That was the second angel's message. What is the third angel message? Can you read it?
Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God,
Yes, and then continue.
which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name.
So what is the third angel's message? It says that do not receive the mark of beast, and do not worship the beast and the image of the beast. Do you understand? This is the third angel's message. So, again, first angel's message is like this. His judgment has come. His judgment has come. Okay? In the first angel's message, and who made heaven and earth, the sea and spring of water, we need to worship him. Actually, this expression come out fourth commandment. So in other words, we need to remember the Sabbath and worship in proper day. That is the first angel's message. First angel's message is what? Judgment time has come. Okay? The second angel's message is Babylon, the great is fallen, come out from Babylon. That was the second angel's message. Third angel's message, do not worship the beast and his image, and do not receive the mark of beast. This is the three angels' message. Need to be careful. By the way, when did the three angels' message sounded? Yes, it was sounded year 1844. Again, why? Why it was sounded 1844? I explain you. You must think this one very carefully. It was very easy. Why? Why? Simply, who did they think was coming? Jesus, yes. Because they were convinced that Jesus was coming back. That's why they could shout three angels' message. Again, three angels' message, they must agree first. Why? They were convinced they must agree first that Jesus is coming soon. What was the first angel's message? Remember. What was the first angel's message? Huh? Judgment is coming, yes. If they believe that really Jesus is coming, they can shout the first angel's message. But if they don't believe that Jesus is coming, can they shout that judgment time come or not? They cannot. They were able to shout the three angels' message 1844 because they really believe that Jesus is coming. Because the message of itself is what? His judgment has come. So, and worship him who made heaven and earth and the sea and spring of water. People who say this in the end time are called apocalyptic or eschatologist, who is is saying that about, oh, you know what? Last day. Who's saying about the last days. So during 1844, when this three angels message was given, obviously has to be done at the second coming. But did Jesus come? Actually, three angels message is good for the Jesus coming. But Jesus come or not? Yes. No, he didn't come. So when should we shout these three angels message again? When? When we should shout? Yes, only when there is a clear evidence that Jesus is coming, we can shout three angels message. Understand? Only when all the evidence that Jesus is coming is so clear that I become agree and I commit that Jesus is really coming, then that is the time I can shout Jesus is coming. Do you understand? Before that, can I speak or not? I cannot speak. But only the time I really agree that Jesus is coming, only when? when He's really, really coming. Do you understand? Okay. We understand while we are studying Matthew 24, and we understand that what was begun? The telos, the last days. Can you read it together?
For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows.
Yes. Jesus gave us the evidence, very clear evidence. There will be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in various places. And Lucas chapter 21 verse 35 says that clearly it should be happen globally. So when pestilence comes to globally as the first time in the world history, we know that it was the beginning of sorrow. Do you understand? So we have this evidence now that the beginning of sorrow, which is the telos, has begun. Do you understand? But when there is a famine, or worldwide famine comes again, the people will more agree for telos started, isn't it? And if there is an earthquake everywhere in the world globally happen, the people will agree that, really, that telos begun. And people will understand each other. Lucas chapter 21 verse 35 says it clearly. Can you read it?
Word will come as a snare on all those who dwell on the face of the whole earth.
Yes. This event must happen in whole world. Three angels' message is for global message, isn't it? So, to let people shout globally three angels' message, the event showing and the sign showing that last days begun should be globally too. Do you understand what I mean? If three angels' message is for the all global event, the last days sign should be given globally too. For example, like this, three angels' message is globally, but it was the event and the sign only shown in Korea. The American will know or not? They will not know. So can they start three angels' message or not? They cannot. But if that sign was given, which is a pestilence and famine, the earthquake, if that was given all over the world, then they will notice that what was started last days. And they can begin to speak about three angels' message. Can you read it?
Surely the Lord God does nothing unless He reveals His secret to His servants, the prophets.
Yes. Because He clearly says that He doesn't do anything if before He let His servant to know about what's going on. Because of that, we can say that even the last days, the beginning of last days, God will clearly let us know when the last day began. How long the last days, how long the last days will be. The Bible says it like this. Can you read it?
Assuredly, I say to you, this generation will by no means pass away, till all these things take place.
Yes. The things that Jesus described in Matthew 24, it will be done in how many generation? One generation. We do not know that will be 40 years, 50 years, 30 years. I have no idea. But one thing is assured that before you die, Jesus will come. Understand? Before she die, who will come? Jesus will come. We must know about this, that, and we must be really know that last days begun. Well, in the last days, a sign, God says like this. Can you read it?
Realize this, that in the last days difficult times will come.
Okay. definition of the last days is what? Difficult time. Difficult time. Do you remember how we were have hard time while Corona? It's not easy to travel outside, coming back to Philippines also, right? And every time you go out, what you need to wear? You need to mask. Kapoikayo, I really hate to wear the mask. I really hate. Because I cannot breathe properly. But it was a very difficult time, right? And we spent lots of money for the mask. And we try to make a QR code showing that I am something. And we always bring the vaccine card showing that I am safe. How it is difficult time? Well, the reason I bring up this words is because we can never ever shout the first angel's message until we are certain that Jesus is coming soon. Do you understand what I mean? When we can speak about first angel's message, when we are very sure that Jesus is coming soon. Just imagine, I spoke next to one will be famine or the earthquake. I don't know which one will become first. But famine or earthquake will come globally, and if both are arrived, then I can say that Jesus will come very soon, isn't it? Without that idea, we cannot say that Jesus will come soon. Only when we agree that Jesus will come soon, because all the sign is showing us that Jesus is coming, then we can speak. And in order that message to be a global message, the sign of the end time must be also be a global event. If without global event, the message cannot be global event too. Do you understand what I mean? Why don't you sit in the front? Okay. I want to let you read this verse, which is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 2 to 5. Can you read it together?
Men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. And by such people will turn away.
Yes. This is what the Paul is saying about when last days and the people will turn this way. I have a question. It is happening now? It is happening now? They really love money, right? This is happening only in the Philippines or also in the America? Is that happening also in America? Yes. It is happening in Korea? Yes, it is also happening in Korea. So the sign, like this kind of sign, for showing the last days is not only one portion of the area. Do you think in Dutch or Switzerland, it won't be happen also they will be happen same way? It will be happen same way. Do you think Italy will not happen this way? No, I believe that even in Italy will be happen same way. The sign should be showing up globally. Why? Because the three angels message is good for only one nation or global message. Yes. Well, so that's why we need to have a certain sign that last days begun. Without that, we will not know when we shout, Jesus will come. We know this a lot, isn't it? So I spoke that telos was started, which is the last days, when the famine, pestilence, and earthquake, which is when it comes to all those who dwell on the face of the whole earth, then this is a sign that last days starting. Before that, we also have false Christ, rumor, words, but not worry, it's not the end. The Jesus said, not end. That end is what? The telos, not yet starting the telos. But telos starting with the word of beginning of sorrow. And when the beginning of sorrow comes, until Shinteleia, how many generations? when Jesus come? How many generation? One generation. One generation. Yes. And no, there's a certain time that our grace time of Jesus that will be finished. End of grace time. We call that probation clauses, which is Revelation chapter 8, verse 5 and 22, verse 11. And first Jesus will come after that. Once the probation closes, then 7th plague starts, and we will have a Jacob's trouble. But where the three angels' message should be shouted? What was the first angel's message? The judgment has come. What is the second? Babylon fallen. Three and Babylon fallen, so come out from the Babylon, isn't it? What was the third one? Do not worship the beast and do not receive the mark of beast. In other words, if the three angels' message given here, do you think we have a chance? No. Because no more change in both sides. Because no more changes, though you cannot be saved after the end of grace time. Everybody is certain before the grace time. Before end of the grace time. The three angels' message should be given when? When telos start. The three angels' message should be given here. What was the first angel's message? Judgment time has come. So when the last days started, we can know that when we are very certainly know and when we accept that really last days begun, there is a time we can speak first angel's message. And second angel's message is what? Babylon is full. So in other words, somewhere here, Babylon will be full. What is third angel's message? Do not receive? Yes. Why? Because once you receive the mark of beast, in the second plague, the first plague will be given to the people who receive the mark of beast, which is after the plague. So in other words, three angels' message will be given before end of grace time. Do you get it? Okay. And Jesus said this way. Can you read it or not?
They will deliver you up through tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake.
Why they will be killed? Because on one side will be saying that the nature, we cannot save the nature. Cool. We will say that we cannot save the earth. The other side, they will say that we must save the earth. And we will say that judgment time has begun. Do you think the Satan will be happy when we speak the truth that judgment time has begun? No, he will not. So he will deliver us in the persecution and tribulation, and people will be killed by the Satan, his follower. I can say that still they could be Catholic and other denomination. This is a very sure. Why? Three angels' message is the last message. Just before Jesus come, we should shout. And three angels' message is main message that we deliver the people from wrong place to the truth. Okay, can you read it? Verse 5 to 7. Can you read it?
And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, this tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation.
Clearly says that it was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. So this is the time. Before this time, we already started what? Three angels' message. And I'm sure that Catholic will have some kind of powerful authority. They will be given for 42 months, which is 3 years and half month. Which is 42 months is 3 years and 6 months. Do you understand? For that period, Catholic will have great power. and they will kill the people. And after that, they will be destroyed. About the Catholic, it described in the Bible like this. Can you read it?
And on her forehead the name was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, mother of idols and of the nations.
Yes. We can know that the church is a woman, right? So it says that her. In this chapter, Revelation chapter 17, the Babylon, the Catholic, is showing as a woman or the harlot. And it says that she is the mother of the harlot. Meaning to say there are many harlots under her. Who are they? Why she become harlot? Because she betrayed. She changed the law of God. And when you not serving your husband alone, we call them harlot. Do you understand? So who are the harlots? Surely that will be many Protestant church who worship on Sunday, which is not keeping the Sabbath. Why it says more clearly is like this. Can you read this?
Then he said to me, the waters which you saw, where the harlot sits, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind, and to give their kingdom to the beast, until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman whom you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth.
Yes. Maybe next time I will explain you and I can show you Bible text why we are so sure about the harlot is the Babylon and harlot is Catholic. Because it described very clearly in the Bible, like someone, you're sitting on the throne of God and saying that you are the God. Is there any church that's saying that I'm the Father? Is there any other church? No. Only Pope is saying that I'm Holy Father. He's the only one who says that I'm the Father. And there are many verses is showing that her is surely Catholic. It's not only our Adventist is saying that even other churches come out from the Catholic, they also say that Catholic is hollow. Okay. Problem is like this. Then he said to me, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits, this is a singular, right? One harlot. Who's that? Where the Catholic sits are people, multitude, nation, and tongues. Do you know how many countries is under the power of the Pope? There is no religion giving political power to the other nation. Only the Catholic. Why? Catholic, they have the passport. They are the nation, not only the church. And they are sitting and they can advise to even the president of United States, even the Russia before USSR, even the England, wherever he goes, he treated as a most VVIP. And 10 horns, I cannot explain you about the 10 horns. This is about 10 nations or 10 kings, which you saw on the beast. So beast, this is important. The beast carrying 10 horns. Here actually the beast is a Satan. And harlot is a Catholic. And this will hate the harlot. In other words, in certain time, the beast, the Satan, is not going anymore with the harlot. So what happened? Make her desolate and naked, showing who is she. Eat her flesh and burn with her fire. When? Before the time of what? Probation closes, the Catholic fall. Well, is speaking not only in the New Testament, it was prophesied even in Jeremiah. Can you read it?
How the hammer of the whole earth has been cut apart and broken. How Babylon has become a desolation among the nations. I have laid a snare for you. You have indeed been trapped. O Babylon, and you are not aware. You have been found and also caught, because you have contended against the Lord.
Yes. She was aware or unaware? She was unaware. Babylon, they were not aware. Same expression in Revelation comes out many, many times, especially chapter 18. You can read it. It is so sudden. And even it described like this. For in 1 hour, she's made desolate. How many hours? 1 hour. 1 hour. She didn't know that she will become like that because she was thinking that she will live forever and ever until the end of the time. Actually, Adventists thinking that Catholic will be survived until the end of the time Jesus comes. No, it's not. What is the second angel's message? What was that? Huh?
Babylon is fallen.
Babylon is fallen. Yeah, that's right. Can you read it one more time?
And one angel called saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Same description we can find in Revelation chapter 18. And it was clear that it was the same message. Even Ellen White spoke the same way. Can you read it?
And he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hated bird.
Listen carefully. Our traditional way of interpretation for this word never spoken before. I never heard this before, and no one is speaking this. I'm sure that this message you listen today is the first time of the word. It's surely the first time. Maybe you are first, that's why it is not new to you, I mean. But I'm sure that Ruel and Glenn, Obano, or either Lorna, from now on, the interpretation you will listen for first time. The traditional Adventist interpretation is that Catholics church will be destroyed at the end of the world. We believe and we learn that way. But if the second angel's message is that Babylon is fallen, come out of it, then that message must be given before the end of the time of grace. Why? Because after end of grace time ends, then they will not be saved anymore even they come out. Why the messages come out from the Babylon, isn't it? Do you understand what I mean? If you don't have chance anymore to be saved, then the message given as you come out from the Babylon should not given to them that time. So it should be given before probation process. And Catholic must fall, that's why, before we can shout the message of Babylon is full. How can we shout Babylon is full if Babylon is still strong and standing? Isn't it? If we say Babylon is full, the people will say, oh, Catholic Church okay man. There is no problem at all man. Isn't it? What will be our message then? Second angel's message, it surely describes that Babylon is full. We know this more. Why? We can clearly understand what is the first. First, second, third. Which is the first? First one, isn't it? The second and third. Is it first, third, second, or first, second, third? Third, right? So when we see the timeline, first, second, third. Even the elementary students knows about it. Why are you so serious, isn't it? Again, first, second, third. Let's just check what is the third angel's message. What was it? What was the third angel's message? Can you read it?
The third angel fell unto them, saying with a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink the wine of the wrath of God.
Yes, just the last one. Who?
Who worships the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name.
Yes. The message about do not receive the mark of beast, if the grace period is over, either he received or not, it doesn't meaning, it has no meaning. So, first angel's message is here, second is here, third angel's message, even third angel's message, the grace period is over or not yet over? Not yet over, not yet over. So when the third angel message is still speaking, still the grace period is not yet over, there is a possibility that people can be saved. We traditionally say that three angels message was shouted before and it was done everything. But no, it's not. We still say that what? The mark of beast will be given in the future or before? In the future. And third angel message is in the future too. Well, can you read this?
He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. His number is 666.
A while ago, actually, I was asking, checking in Latin. Latin is a Roman. Old Romance words is Latin before that. I said, what is the number of Drago? And he's saying some. So I give all the number. Why? Because here, the his number, this is not the number of Catholic, but it should be the number of Satan. And I was asking, what is the number of Lucifer? And it answered 666, Latin. Why? Because this is his number. Well, again, we need to go here to understand a little more. Okay. Three angels' message. First angel's message, the judgment begun. When we really understand that last days begun, we can shout. If we don't understand, we cannot shout. Why? We will know that Jesus will come in our generation. But we know now that the last days begun, so we can speak. What is the second angel's message? Babylon is full. So, in other words, the Catholic, you say that it seems like until the end of the world, the Catholic, no, it's not. It will be finished somewhere here. You will know that, and you can come back anytime. And what was the third angel's message? Do not receive the mark of beast, and do not worship the beast. It will be given somewhere here. And that when the three angels' message, when it was a shout for 3 times, even it was given 3 times, and they tried to against the words of God, then sure, the probation will be closest to them. And they will not be saved anymore. And they will come into the 7 plagues. And 7 plagues, when you read Revelation chapter 16, it says like this. All the things like a skin disease will pop up to the people who receive the mark of beast. So mark of beast is given here or there. Actually before. Do you understand? Okay. Sorry. We must not forget that we are living in the last days of the earth's history. We are really living it. Now is the time to study the word more, to tell our loved ones the truth, and to give them time to accept it. you are good because you had a time to accept Jesus. You had a time to study the Bible more. But what about your family? If we don't do it now, we surely will regret. In soon time, 3 angels' message will be proclaimed. Yes, I started 3 angels' message already, isn't it? Tonight, I already started 3 angels' message. Why? Because it is so sure that in our generation, Jesus will come. Do you love your family? Do you love your family? What is the best things for them? Give them the eternal life. Do not let them die with everlasting fire, which is the result is everlasting. Do not let them turn around from the Jesus. You should be really, really care more for your family. What do you think? You say you love your family, and you don't mind about your family. Is that love or not? It's not. The Bible clearly says this way. Can you read it?
Little children, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Yes. He says that. You just don't say that you love your family. If you love your family, if he hungry, you bring food. If he is in trouble, you help, isn't it? This is the love. Even your son is in trouble, you just say, okay, son, I love you, but you are in the trouble. I hope you get better. Do you say that? No. You're even calling me, isn't it? That Joe, please pray for my son. Isn't it? If you really love your family, you should be really giving the message to them that Jesus is coming soon. And you must give them chance to prepare for second coming of Jesus. Everything was described in the Bible as like persecution time for 1,260 days. As it was described, it was done. When? It was completely done through the history. And we can check the one by one, all the history, it was follow as what the Bible spoke before. I don't know either you are going to believe or not. But if I am, I believe the Lord. That's why I want to speak about these things to everyone. Because this is the only way we can love our family. I hope you will not stop studying the Bible. And you should be ready to teach your family so that they have a chance to be saved.